If moderation was the solution, then why are there so many fat people right now? We all know that we're supposed to eat in moderation. We all know that we're supposed to eat only a certain number of calories, but somehow people still end up binging, even when they're in a calorie deficit, even when they tell themselves to only have a little bit of a certain food, they end up still overeating. It's not a matter of discipline. It's not a matter of a lack of willpower or you just need to be less greedy. It's actually by design. These foods, these junk foods, these high sugar and high carb foods are designed for you to have binging problems. They're designed to make you overweight, to make you sick. And that's what this video is going to be about. Hello, guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Diamond. I'm a weight loss coach who lost over 65 pounds with the information that I'm sharing with you. And I'm here to help you lose weight and reclaim your health. So, in today's video, I'm going to be discussing eating everything in moderation and the diet advice that is a lie, that they tell you to always eat everything in moderation if you want to lose weight. And the reason why I'm going to be talking about this topic is because this diet advice literally kept me fat for such a long time. And I know for a fact it's keeping a lot of people fat right now. So I make my videos and my content. I make content on TikTok as well as on here on YouTube. And every single time I make a video regarding cutting out junk food completely, minimizing carbs and sugar completely, there's always those handful of people in my comments that disagree. And they tell me, well, no, you should eat everything in moderation. You can have junk food, you can have the foods that you love, but just have it in moderation or count the calories. And when I look at them and I look at their pages, I'm like, this is what's keeping so many people fat. This is exactly why you haven't had the results that you're looking for, because you're listening to people telling you to have everything in moderation or just count the calories, and if you do that, you'll lose the weight. And if it was so simple to just eat everything in moderation, to just eat junk food and sugar in moderation, then nobody would be fat right now. How many times have you told yourself that you would only have a handful of chips and you end up eating the whole bag of chips? How many times have you told yourself you're only going to have 3 cookies and end up eating a whole row of cookies? It's happened so many times. It's the food. The food is designed to make you binge, make you overeat, and make you crave more. And so when I tell you guys to cut it out and when I tell my clients to cut it out, I'm saying that because that's what actually works. That is the actual thing that will help you lose weight. If you keep these foods in your diet, these junk foods in moderation, you're going to have to continue fighting cravings in order to lose weight. I would rather just not have cravings at all rather than having to fight cravings every single day. If you rely on the mental discipline to not eat these things, you're always going to end up losing. You're always going to end up on a binge. You're always going to end up overeating because you're relying on mental discipline, not realizing the underlying health issues that are at play here. Moderation and all that, that is not the best way to lose weight. There are some people that can do it but for majority of people that, have been struggling with their weight for a very long time, it's not going to work. And it's not going to work simply because there are underlying health issues that you have, specifically insulin resistance and blood sugar issues, where you just simply cannot tolerate these sugars and these carbs. And I'm going to be getting into a couple of the reasons as to why I never tell my audience or my clients to do moderation, and I always tell them to go cold turkey. Um, and I'm going to be explaining why. So, number one, the reason why I never promote moderation and I always promote cutting these things completely out is because studies have actually proven that these foods activate the brain's reward system similar to drugs and other addictive substances. Okay, these junk foods, specifically the processed foods, the high carb and high sugar processed foods, they are addictive substances. A lot of people don't want to classify it as that because they think it's food, but it's not real food, you guys. They are addictive substances. And studies have actually proven that they are acting like drugs in your body. You're not fat due to a lack of discipline. You're fat due to the design of these foods. It's not your fault that you can't stop eating. It's not your fault that you're addicted to junk food. It's the food industry's fault because the foods that they're pushing out and selling is actually causing people to be obese. It's causing people to feel an insatiable hunger and insatiable cravings that are causing their weight issues. And they're doing it for profit because they're telling you to eat these foods in moderation, knowing that it's almost impossible to stop eating these foods. Okay, and they know that. And so what they're going to do is they're going to tell you just have it in moderation. You know, just don't be so greedy. Just have it in moderation and you'll be fine. Knowing that it's putting you on this blood sugar roller coaster, it's causing a bunch of health issues, and they know that. They know that people can't put the food down. And the reason why they're doing that is because of profit. You know, people are addicted to these foods. They make money off of you purchasing the foods nonstop. They make money off of selling you weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Manjaro. And then they also make money off of when you get sick from these drugs like diabetes or you get heart issues, they can sell you insulin and other medications that you wouldn't have needed if it wasn't for the food that you purchased. So all of these things are literally them funneling. They're basically taking advantage of people in order to make a profit, and it's not fair. Not only that, but you are actually putting your body in a state where it's on a blood sugar roller coaster. So what I mean by that is every single time you eat something that is high in sugar or high in carbs, you're spiking your blood sugar and then it comes crashing down even lower than it was before. And so then that's why you have cravings for more and more sugar, because you're trying to get your body's blood sugar back to where it was, and you end up on this roller coaster because every time you eat sugar, you spike it and then you crash it lower than it was before. And so that is what I call a sugar roller coaster, and you want to get off of that. And carbohydrates also cause this same sugar roller coaster because carbs actually turn into sugar in your body. So when I say sugar, I mean sugar and carbs. I'm using the words interchangeably. But you don't want to be on a sugar roller coaster, especially if you're overweight. More than likely, you have insulin resistance. You can't afford to be spiking your blood sugar and your insulin like that, and expect to be losing weight. And mind you, every single time your insulin's high, you're not in a state of fat burning. And insulin raises when you eat sugar and when you eat carbs. And so that's exactly why I always tell my clients cut these things out. Now, you will have cravings for these foods when you first start to cut them out. It's going to take a couple weeks for your body to transition, and to get used to not having all this sugar and all these carbs if you've been eating high sugar and high carbs for a very long time. But that's exactly why I tell you guys, make sure you take your electrolytes. And also, if you need help with that journey of, teaching your body how to use its own body fat for energy rather than using sugar for energy. I also do have my ebook link down below, and I offer a 1 month coaching service where I hold your hand through the entire process of transitioning your body to fat burning. I give you one 30-minute coaching call per week. So that's four in the entire month. Not only that, you get daily text access to me. So you can send me pictures of your meals. You can ask me any questions that you may have, and I will answer pretty promptly to help you with this process. So if you need anyone to hold your hand through that process, it's almost like if you had, a weight loss coach in your back pocket to ask any questions that you may have throughout your journey. I'll be there for you. I also have a meal plan link down below as well. So there's a bunch of resources in my description if you're interested. But yes, you are going to have cravings on your journey when you first start. But as you continue to cut these things out of your diet, you will not have cravings the same way that you were having before. As a matter of fact, your cravings will eventually completely go away. Once I started eating a completely clean diet, I haven't had cravings for these things. As a matter of fact, the cravings are caused by you eating these things. And I kind of want to get into another misconception that people have when in the diet space is that, oh, if you cut out these foods, it's going to lead to you binging on these foods. If you cut out all this sugar and all the carbs, it's going to lead to a binge. And you need to let yourself have some in moderation in order to prevent binging. That is completely false. As a matter of fact, these binges are being caused by you eating it. So a lot of people say, well, I went a long time without eating sugar or carbs. And then when I finally had some, I binged on it because I felt like I couldn't have any more, or I felt like this was the last time I'd ever have some. So I just binged on it. You didn't binge on it because you didn't let yourself have it. You binged on it because you let yourself have it and you went on that blood sugar spike and that blood sugar roller coaster that led to you feeling like you couldn't stop eating. Okay. It wasn't because you restricted yourself from eating it. It was actually because you ate it. You eating that food is actually what caused you to binge on that food. And any person who feels that it's completely impossible to cut out these foods completely, these are the people that need my coaching the most. These are the people that need my content the most, is those that say, well, it's impossible to cut out all these sugars and carbs completely. It's impossible for me to not eat junk food ever again. It's not realistic. You're the one who needs my content the most, because If you're that addicted to these carbs and these sugars and these processed junk foods that you don't think that you could live a life without it, and you think it's impossible or unrealistic to do so, you need the content the most. I haven't eaten those things in a very, very long time. And I can see myself going my entire life without it. And also, there's so many keto versions of all these foods. If you check out my videos, I have a keto pizza recipe on my channel. My meal plan also has a bunch of keto recipes like keto cupcakes, keto cheesecake. So it's not like you're never having sweets ever again. You just have to make a keto version. You can use alternative sweeteners, alternative flours, and I've never felt more free with my eating than I have on a keto lifestyle, because keto, you can make a keto version of anything and it still tastes good, but you don't have the bloating after, you don't have the weight gain, you don't have the binging issues or any of that. So I personally think keto is the best option for anyone looking to lose weight and better their health. And also, eating these foods, even in moderation, all you're doing is maintaining your addiction to these foods. So like I mentioned earlier, how these foods are actually addictive substances, the food itself is causing the cravings for these foods, because you have to remember that your body has two energy sources. It can use sugar for energy, or it can use your body fat for energy. If you are someone that is obese, if you're someone that is overweight, if you're someone that's looking to lose weight, what you want to do is teach your body how to use its own body fat for energy. But when you're eating these junk foods and these high carb and high sugar foods, you're telling your body to run off of those foods. And so it's going to crave more because it needs it for energy. If you cut it out, your body will use its own body fat for energy. But yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. If moderation was so easy to do, and if moderation was the solution, then nobody would be fat. Every single fat person has tried to stop eating when they knew it was time to stop eating, but somehow they weren't able to do so. And expecting yourself to rely on mental discipline and mental fortitude when you're literally putting yourself on an addictive substance and trying to get yourself off of it is insane. Okay, you'd be better off if you got off the sugar roller coaster altogether, rather than fighting your cravings every single day. That's all I have to say for today, you guys. I really hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.